Oh, yes, I was late. Yes, I am late. My bad. My bad, geese. Can you tell why? Do I look different? Come on, be honest. Do I look different? Do you know why? I was, do you know why I was late? But do you know why I'm late? I look rather swishing, mate. Oh, yes. I had my hair done and my beard straightened. Ooh. But yeah, happy days. But, uh, But yeah, got a few news stories, and obviously we've discussed the Manchester. Yeah, full refund, full refund, full refund. But uh, but notice, look, let me move the mic, and you can admire. Look, it's been straightened, mate. Right, that's enough about that. Right, yeah. And the good thing is, I get it all done in my kitchen because my daughter done it all. Whee! Guess how much that cost me? Jiggins, gonk wombos. Oh, actually, you can Google a gonk. A gonk exists. Smiley face. Looking good wizard from Slim, because he's the real Slim Shady. All the other Slim Shadys are just imitating. How you doing, Slim? Hope you're living a dream, my friend. We've got things to go through today, but especially see who wants to say what regards Manchester Synagogue. I shall keep my eyes on the chat. He's been named. You may have heard the name. You could not make it up. His first name is Jihad. I know, Jihad. Who calls someone Jihad? I was that late, I didn't realise that I've got my Viking cup and I've also got my coffee here on standby. Because when I'm sat here and I've got no coffee, I'll have to bang the floor and get the missus. She said she'd make me a brew. But I was like, no, I'll do it all now. Isn't she nice? And as it stands at the moment, there will not be a live stream Saturday because it's my wife's birthday today and we're taking her out for din-dins tomorrow. So depending on when I get back, I think we booked the table for 2:30. So might be back for an afternoon or evening one, but possibly not. So we've got to make today's extra good. So let me know what you think about the Manchester Synagogue attack. There seems to be more going on. Obviously more news coming out and everything, but obviously, like we said yesterday, though, it was actually confirmed that the man was indeed a Muslim and it was an Islamic terrorist attack. I said that. I said we don't want to speculate, but I did say it. I just knew by the way he looked. Just knew it. So, oh, is he sentenced today? Is it? Oh, he's facing quite a bit of time as well, isn't he? Well, what they look for? 11 years or something, or maybe more. So we need to be careful because the mainstream media will twist things and lie. Yes, they will. That's why we ended up with riots in the Southport, didn't we? Let's be honest. So absolutely crazy. Yeah, last night was absolutely crazy because it kicked off Glasgow, Edinburgh, and London, to name a few areas. It was absolutely crazy. The police were being harassed by the usual pro-Palestine, Palestine Action Group. Objects being thrown. I saw some on TousiTV actually. We all have a bit of TousiTV. But police done more harm than the Muzzy. They shot 2 people. They shot 2 people. And 1 was killed. What? During the actual incident, like you're talking that bloke, his first name, Jihad. His name, Jihad al-Shami. A name like Jihad, I mean, blimey heck. I know he was shot, and I assume he bled out because they couldn't run up to him and say or do nothing, because obviously they saw or what they thought was a viable IED, explosive device. But yeah, so obviously he was left and it obviously bled out. You can't go running up in case he flicks a switch, and if it was active, then boom, done. So they had to hold fire. So yes, I know he was shot and then obviously bled out. Oh, I'm picking the wrong thing here. Got me broogies. But yeah, I got wind of that one. I've got to open up my windows here because it's absolutely crazy. Because let's bring up some of the old things that are going on. Share the screen. It's all been going on. I don't understand that the fact that people are actually out. Like because of that attack on a synagogue, they all find that as an excuse to go out and start cheering, and they start free Palestine and all that rubbish. I was like, this is absolutely crazy. The ideology of people. I mean, check out some of my shorts. They're being shadow banned, obviously, but I've just done one saying, like, you know, someone had to say it, Manchester attacks, and I actually just called it out for what it is, like Islamic attack, and read the Quran and Hadiths. You see where the problem is. I see when they like Jihad, his career path was predetermined from birth. Exactly that, mate. I mean, Jihad al-Shami, and he was a British citizen, but he came from Syria. He was born in Syria, so he was Syrian by birth, but obviously then became a British citizen. And as always, you know, reward the British people for allowing him to be here and be in the land of, I was going to say the land of free speech, but maybe that's a bit dubious at the moment as well. But allow him to be what he wants to be, and then he repays us by doing that. I mean, what is it about blooming attacking Jews all of a sudden? Well, all of a sudden, it's been going on for decades, but to do this. But because I did say, didn't I, I've done that other live stream, and in that I said Iran has called for attacks in the UK on Jews and Christians. The Iranians called for it. So, you know, absolutely crazy. Beats and tapes, yeah, said this morning the police killed one of them. Yep. 2 other arrests were done, weren't they? And one of them was like a 60-year-old woman. So I heard. If you heard any more or anything to the contrary, let me know in the chat. I might end up reading something that's not right or something. Who knows? But yeah, I did hear, like, obviously the police shot one. That's because there's a clip going around which I'm not showing, and it shows a gentleman on the floor, obviously with blood, obviously from a neck wound, I assume, by the amount of blood. Then sort of goes, and they look like they're in the property of maybe a school or something, or was that the actual synagogue property? It's sort of like, to me, it looked like a bit like a playground type thing, and the bloke was there, like on his knees or something, and there was 2 coppers shouting things, and then one of the coppers, you heard a snap with the gun as that went, then obviously he fell down. I know that one, and I believe that was Jihad al-Shawi. And like I say, they didn't approach him in any shape or form, because then they were shouting that he had a bomb, or they were shouting he had a bomb or whatever, shot him. Then they were not going to go and approach him with what they thought might have been a viable explosive device around his waist. So unfortunately, because of that, Jihad al-Shawi did not get the medical care as quickly as he could have done, because they thought he had a bomb on him. And I'm not being funny, like, you know, if it was they're a paramedic to save lives, and you've got this gentleman you run over, you might touch something, that's it, it's done, dusted, boom. So I completely understand why he was left. But it's left us speculating, like, you know, what it was for. You know, people are saying, oh, what was the purpose of the attack? And I think we know, it's Islamic ideology. Lubna Zaidi talked to Mike Graham about the failure of the Muslim community to address anti-Semitism and extremism, and not doing enough to condemn this attack. So at least one Muslim spoke out this time. Yes, there was a gentleman on GB News last night. I can't remember his name. He was talking to Martin Daubney on GB News, I believe. And I believe he was a Muslim, and he called it out for what it was and everything and condemned it. So I'm not too sure on his name. I should have remembered his name because I was actually quite impressed, because I thought, you know, prejudge. As soon as you see someone, I think, right, he's a Muslim, we know which way this is going to go. And he'd done totally the opposite and just said, like, you know, I condemn it. It's not right, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's terrible. But hopefully more do. But they're afraid to speak up against their own. I'm not surprised. Exactly, because, I mean, they'll probably end up becoming victims themselves of some sort of attack if they start sticking up for the Jews. Oh, you're supposed to be a Muslim. It says in Islam, kill the Jews and then the Christians. What are you doing? You can't speak up on their side, and they could open themselves up to attack. So, yeah, being afraid to speak would not surprise me in the slightest. So, yeah, hope you all got your copies. But where do we go from here? That's the thing. I mean, blimey, because the Manchester Arena attack, and now we've got the Manchester Synagogue. That's 2 in Manchester. So, Kevin McMahon, welcome, Kevin. Glad to have you here. Thank you for commenting. They ask why. Because Islam hates Jews more than anyone else, and they will never stop until someone stops them. Exactly that. I've literally just uploaded a short saying, like, people want to address the issue. Islam, the Quran and Hadiths are the problem. So if they are serious about addressing the issue, then yes, they're going to have to admit it. But yeah, Islam hates Jews. And it all stems back, you know, going back to what, 600 and 700 AD? Because Muhammad spoke to the Jews telling them that he's a prophet, and they laughed at him. They're like, no, you're not. And from that moment on, obviously, Muhammad hated Jews and started writing about, or didn't write because the man couldn't read or write. But then, like, the campaign to hate the Jews began, and it's gone on and on and on. So it's absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, you're spot on, Kev. Islam literally hates Jews. I've even got some files that I can show that actually prove, like, you know, what the problem is. I don't know if it'll. I'll see, but I'll show it quickly. Let me remove that one, and I've got another thing. You can see why there's a problem. There we go. This is exactly the problem. Verses from the Quran that inspire terrorists, and yeah, you're not looking at one. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 12 on there. 12 verses that inspire terrorism. And they want to say anything other and scout around here, there and everywhere, but not admit that it's actually the whole foundation of Islam is the problem. What's written in the Quran and Hadiths is the problem. But they don't want to admit it. They do not want to admit it. And that's going to be a problem. Oh, he's going to make a latte. Oh, I have a can of lychee fizz. Ooh, Slim's living the dream. Lurking, doing the chores. There's a verse in the Quran that says the Jews were Allah's favourite people, but they turned their backs on him. After that, everything is about kill the Jews. Yep, basically. They were, like, you know, the Quran and the Bible clearly states, like, the Holy Land is the land of the Jews, which is now what they're trying to make out. It's called Palestine. Trying to say Palestinians are indigenous to the area, and it's called Judea and Samaria, land of the Jews. 3,000 years of history. Palestine, 70 years. Invent a flag by stealing the designs from all the surrounding countries. And they're trying to make out they're indigenous and it's their land. And was it Israel are occupiers when Palestinians are occupying land that isn't theirs? It's literally the Jewish land. They're trying to steal it from the Jews because they don't want the Jews there. So yeah. So Allah, or God's favoured people were the Jews. A gift from God to the Jews was Judea and Samaria, the Holy Land, Jerusalem, etc. So should ban all protests. It's going to get that way. They're going to have a period where they might have to consider saying, hang on, like this is getting a bit silly, because the amount of people that went out after that attack saying like Palestine and cheer, the police were being abused left, right and centre. They got no respect for anything or anyone. How anyone, I mean, they got obviously have an IQ below 10, but how can anyone go out cheering for Palestine knowing, one, it doesn't exist, and two, it was Palestine who voted in Hamas and cheered on October the 7th. Why are they cheering for Palestine? Pro-Palestine, Palestine action. That, it's over my head. I don't get it. I do not get it. And because of what's happening and the fact they're doing that, and it is literally, what can we say, supporting Islamic terrorism, supporting terrorism, full stop. Maybe there's going to be a bit where they're going to say, look, for the next X amount of time, we need to ban all protests because people need to step back and calm the F down. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. So you might not be too far wrong there, Ian, but there is a danger then people will protest about banning protests. Do you know what I mean? That's what they're like. So, I mean, will you win? So it could sort of have a knock-on effect. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. What do you reckon? Would a ban on protests for maybe 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 6 to 8 weeks maybe help to let everything calm down? Because it seems a bit strange. There's people even doing shorts now blaming the synagogue attack on Benjamin Netanyahu. How does he come to that conclusion? There was a woman I saw on TousiTV. He showed her like doing a TikTok, and they're saying it all boils down to Netanyahu. I was like, you've lost the plot. You've literally lost the plot. Canaan was an ancient Semitic-speaking civilization and region of the southern Levant during the late 2nd millennium BC. Slim, you Googling again, or is this your knowledge? Thumbs up. Deport, and deport again. That's, I mean, blimey. Yeah. I think so. Things right. I find it really hard because, like, the way I talk, it might seem like I'm tarring every single Muslim with the same brush, but I'm not. It's Islam I have a problem with, and what it says. But banning Islam would probably be like, I think I said, I might have said that in my the short video I done saying about Manchester. But if Islam is a trouble, like these things on the screen, I'll read them out in 2 secs. But I knew it, but Googled it to save the old fingers. Oh, see, wise man does not type. He copies and pastes. Nicely done. Suppose so, said Ian. Right. But yeah, like, what are you supposed to do in life when you're getting told things like this? Slay the unbelievers wherever you find them. Who are the unbelievers? Jews and Christians. Muslims must not take the infidels as friends. Who are the infidels? Jews and Christians. You may remember, I read this out probably, I don't know, about 20 live streams ago. But any religion other than Islam is not acceptable. You can see like Surah 2, Surah 3, Surah 3, Surah 5, Surah 8, chapter X. It's all there. So you can, you know, excuse me, you can look it up. Maim and crucify infidels if they criticize Islam. Islam is crap. It's rubbish. It's satanic. I mean, blimey. Terrorize and behead those who believe in scriptures other than the Quran. It reeks of desperation. So if you follow the Bible, if you like to read the Gospels or the Torah, guess what? You are to be terrorized and beheaded, because that is not the Quran. It's like they're seriously desperate to have people follow the Quran and obviously only believe in their scripture, and they know it's that bad they have to threaten with severe violence in order to keep people on it, because it's just rubbish. Muslims must muster all weapons to terrorize the infidels. The unbelievers are stupid. Urge the Muslims to fight them. Well, that doesn't need any explanation whatsoever, does it? When opportunity arises, kill the infidels wherever you catch them. Say what now? The Jews and Christians are perverts. Fight them. Wow. Now that's the irony in that is Sahih al-Bukhari 51:34, isn't it? When Aisha narrates that I was 6 years old when the Prophet Muhammad married me, and 9 years old when he consummated the marriage with me, and I still play with dolls. And here we have it. The Quran, Surah 9, verse 30. The Jews and Christians are perverts. Fight them. The irony. Make war on the infidels living in your neighbourhood. What? Punish the unbelievers with garments of fire, hooked iron rods, boiling water, melt their skin and bellies. And the last one, do not hanker for peace with the infidels. Behead them when you catch them. Oh, come on. And you want me to work out what the problem is with the hatred from Islam and why they want to kill Jews and Christians? I mean, blimey heck, it's there. We can all see it. All of us. Absolutely crazy. We can't really have it any more simple than that, can we, ladies and gents? I mean, let me know what you think. These are actual genuine verses from the Quran. Mark says, in general now, I tar people with the same brush unless they speak out against it. I recently decided that failure to speak out is complicit acceptance. That's the thing. I mean, I sort of paused a bit earlier. Yeah, I am like that. I try not to. And then you think, well, hang on. They are complicit if they're willing to keep their mouths shut, because they're like, oh, yeah, you know, that man's a Muslim. I am indeed a Muslim or Muslimah, male or female. I say nothing. Saying nothing, like you say, yes, that's, to me, it's like they're more complicit than against, because you would speak up and say, I'm sorry, but as a Muslim, all this terrorism, no. But they're indoctrinated. They've grown up with the Quran and the Hadiths, and they're reading verses like this and how they hate the Jews, hate the Christians, kill the Saturday and Sunday people, which is Jews and Christians. So, yeah, on that way, you know, like, I don't like to tie everyone with the same brush, but then you think, well, if you're not willing to speak up on it, and say, you know, hang on a minute, no, then yes, I suppose in theory we could tie you with the same brush, because you are complicit, you're accepting it. So yeah, I see exactly what you're saying there, Mark. All it takes for evil to succeed is for good people to not speak out. That's very true. And look how many either don't speak out against something now, or actually speak out in favour instead. Yeah, like Palestine Action, pro-Palestine. They're all speaking out, but in favour of. And the problem is, I think people are scared to speak out against Islam as a whole. I know you say speak out against something, but let's say there's something that is actually Islam. That's the problem. They're scared because they, you know, we've seen it. It's like Mohammed Hijab threatens to kill a police dog if they're released, and the policeman just stands there and goes, "Yeah, all right." Now, if you were just an Englishman shouting that, going, "I'm going to kill your dog," they'd be like, "Oh, we're arresting you for attempting to murder a police officer," because I assume a dog is deemed to be a police officer. That's the difference. So they go, well, if I speak out about Islam, I'm going to get absolutely mullered. Absolutely mullered. So, and the thing is, right, this is the irony, if you do speak out against it, like if you're someone like me, who just says it the way it is and quite blunt and tries to keep it factual but truthful, and boom, there it is. you get shadow banned. My channel, my videos, my shorts, some of them really struggle because certain words and certain things, boom, they like, nope. I can have a short up for 6 hours and it's got 0 views, maybe 2. And other times I load one and it's got about 400 in the same period. You're like, well, what's the difference? And you think, oh yeah, because I mentioned Islam or asylum seekers or terrorism. Do you know what I mean? So they know what they're doing. And to me, things like YouTube and TikTok are complicit. And the last 3 or 4 shorts I've posted on YouTube, I haven't even bothered posting them on TikTok anymore because TikTok is pathetic. I got a warning for replying to someone's comment saying jelly babies LOL, and they actually removed that comment, and I'm like, this is just getting ridiculous now. They're absolute, oh, it's crazy, absolute crazy. I mean, oh well. What can we say? And that's the problem when you speak out. So it's going to make it a bit of a nightmare now for my channel to grow and for my videos to be seen. So I'll be stuck earning about 30p a day on ad revenue. So don't forget, I do have channel memberships and super chats. It's all going on. Mark, you can only show tolerance and acceptance for so long before it begins to cause harm to you, your family, and those around you. Exactly. And I think it's getting to that point where the tolerance, acceptance is, probably since even 9/11 or whatever, you weren't still allowed to talk out about anything to do with Islam or Islamic terrorism. And then obviously they had to go through and blame the Jews for that, which was just ridiculous. And now, like, we're seeing attacks like we've just seen. So yes, it's literally on our doorsteps, in our streets. We saw with the Manchester Arena. We saw with 7/7. I mean, blimey. But no, please, we're not saying nothing. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know. Speaking up on it gets you banned. I can't even comment unless the chat is live. Yeah. You have to start finding the shift 8 for the little star. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it does. And that's the problem. They like YouTube and TikTok between them, and even like, you know, you can post what you like on X, but then the police see it. Freedom of speech. I mean, blimey, it doesn't even matter. You can have your opinion, a view, or you could be speaking facts. If they don't like it, nothing you can do about it. Red squirrel, grey squirrel. Well, red squirrels are really feisty. Murderous, in fact, compared to grey squirrels. That's why they wiped out most of the grey squirrels. Because red squirrels aren't even indigenous to this country. Quick, let's have a war against red squirrels. Speaking out against Islam in the UK gets you fined, prison sentence, and most likely some kind of attack, likely on social media, but possibly a physical attack as well. Yeah, I mean, I talk out a lot. You know I do, obviously, because you're here. So yeah, it's always a danger. Even my missus says, like, oh, be careful what you say and all this and that, and you know, I'll say, oh yeah, today I said such and such, and she'll be like, oh, careful. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, just for what you could say. I mean, oh, I don't know. It's absolute. It's nuts. It's nuts to actually have a fear of like saying something, so you're not going to say it. But I don't know. Anyway, back to the Farage thing before I sort of went off the thing, because this is the comment I made before the chat went live disappeared. Oh, did it? Top left, click on live chat. It says top chat, click it, live chat, and then it might show up. If it doesn't, then yeah, that's YouTube doing its self-censor. That's nothing to do with me. I'll allow anything. You can have any view you like. Some of my comments I make during the chat get removed as well. Same thing, go to the top where it says top chat, click it, live chat, click that. It might make a difference. If it doesn't, like I say, it's YouTube, but I literally have no restrictions on my chat whatsoever. So we should not tolerate the intolerance. It's been like the majority of my life. I am a 47. Admittedly, it wasn't a blatant when I was a kid, but there was a clear favouritism. Dun, dun, dun. Yep. Facts are now a criminal offence. Yeah, they say like facts hurt your feelings and all that. No, facts hurt your life because you'll end up in prison. Why the riots by the Palace mob last night? They're disgusting. Exactly that, Steve. Thanks for joining. Thanks for jumping in the chat. Yeah, I don't get it. Calling, you know, for Palestine. Even, again, they're saying from the river to the sea, which, by the way, is from the Jordan River up to the Mediterranean Sea and everything in between. So they're literally, they are saying still, wipe out the Jews, get rid of Israel, literally genocide done. Yet they got signs saying we oppose genocide, but they're calling for genocide. I mean, it makes no sense. And it was disgusting. It was in London. Where else did I say? Glasgow, Edinburgh, and a few other places. So I think the tide is turning. Let's hope so. Speedy McMillan, Jews don't deserve to breathe the air we all take for granted. They are scum terrorists just like Hamas. Well, someone's absolutely 100% deluded. How are Jews terrorists? Every single terrorist attack is what we call an Islamic terrorist attack. Jews are like Christians. They deserve to live in peace and breathe the air. I don't know what planet you're on, Speedy. You're wrong there, 100%. I'm glad you actually said like Hamas, because you actually admit that Hamas is a terrorist organisation. But Jews, yeah, you're being a bit of a there, mate. Bit retarded. That's a weird thing to say, isn't it? Jews don't deserve to breathe the air we all take for granted. You know, I'd rather live like as one Christian in the street surrounded by 68 houses that housed all and nothing but Jews. That wouldn't bother me. So you've lost the plot there. Anyone who disagrees with Speedy, get in the chat and tell him absolute retard. It is the tube. Oh, it's banning you, is it? Free beer for all. Oh, look, it's okay, Urban. I'm not even going to bother doing it again. We've done that yesterday. Hope you're well, okay. Beats and tapes. Yep. That comment is not visible on the live chat. What comment? What, the one I've just shown? It might be suppressed by YouTube. So, yeah. How about a live chat? The Bird Box. Thank you for commenting. And welcome. Speedy McMillan, you are disgusting. Exactly that. That's the sort of comment I want to see. You're disgraceful. I don't get I don't get how some people think. I mean, what have Jews ever done wrong, really? Other than be successful and admit that Muhammad was just a fake prophet. Is that what the problem is? I don't remember ever reading anything in the Torah or learning anything from the Jewish community or in Judaism that says kill all Muslims. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Thanks, man. How do you do? I'm good. I've had my beard straightened. I've had my hair cut. Hair plaited. Yeah, I've got the old French plait going on. Yeah. To see all comments, click top comments and change it to live chat. That's it, Bird Box. That's what I was on about. Yes, there you go. That's what I was meant to say, if anyone's confused by me trying to explain it. So, yeah. They killed Jesus, but I forgive them. Yep, with the help of Pontius Pilate, because he didn't want to do it. There's a letter of that. But then if he wasn't killed like that, with the crucifixion, etc., then we wouldn't have had the resurrection, which was obviously just more proof that Jesus was God. So, yeah. And if everything happens for a reason, but yes, we forgive the Jews. And the Jews today aren't the Jews of back then either. So, do you know what I mean? Also, they're more the Old Testament and Moses. But yes. Right, let's right, I need to close my window from the Quran and everything. But Even Nigel Farage has spoken out, which you expect him to, because, like, let's be honest, he's quite intelligent. I mean, whether you agree with the man on certain things or not, I mean, 9 times out of 10, he does talk sense. And he's criticised the pro-Palestine protesters who were actually celebrating the Manchester Synagogue terror attack. Yep, believe it or not, pro-Palestine are that sick in the head. They celebrated the synagogue attack. I mean, you could not make this up. He posted on X, he said, "I've never seen such vile scenes on our streets. 2 men were killed in a terrorist attack outside the Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue in Crumpsall, and 4 other men were hospitalised with serious injuries." There's his name, Jihad al-Shami, a 35-year-old British national of Syrian descent, was shot dead by police at the scene after driving at high speed into a group of Jewish worshippers and using a knife on the victims. So that basically sums up like the whole like mentality and in this day and age, the Jews don't actually physically hate Christians, do they? No, they're not actually going out trying to kill them left, right, and centre. So they actually move with the times and see that it's 2025, not 600 BC. So it's not like Islam where they physically hate and want to kill and do kill Jews and Christians. So there you go. Get it right. Oh, always saying your pleasantries. Saying hi to everybody in the chat. Pro-Palestine protests were taking place just hours after this attack, with one protester, this is funny as whatever, outside Downing Street was heard shouting, "I don't give an F about the Jewish community right now." But he does for the Palestinians who voted in Hamas and cheered on October the 7th and supports Islamic terrorism. Wow. Whoever that is, he needs to give his head a wobble. Farage said, "The scenes of the Jewish people being butchered on the streets of Manchester yesterday, I think, have shocked many of us deeply, deeply to the core. And I want to extend on behalf of myself and our party our absolutely most sincere condolences to all of those affected." But it's worse than that. It's bigger than that. It's deeper than that. I think the whole Jewish community in Britain are now deeply fearful. Within just a few hours of this horrific incident, we saw in London, Glasgow, Edinburgh and elsewhere pro-Palestinian flags on the streets, people out, previously unplanned demonstrating. But here's the truth of it. They weren't demonstrating, they were actually celebrating. I can't even imagine we've ever seen such vile scenes on the street, certainly not in my lifetime. That's the thing. And when you got Keir Shabbat Mahmood and is it Andy Burnham, the mayor of London, Manchester, saying whatever they're saying, it's just empty words. They don't mean nothing. I mean, they're all complicit. They're ones like Keir Starmer saying, "Okay, yeah, we recognise Palestine." Well, there's a problem there, mate. You literally just supported Hamas. Shabana Mahmood has clearly stated that Islam becomes first and foremost before anything. And she wants to stand there saying about the Jews and all that, and those that are trying to kill her, we'll stand up against them. We're standing up against her. Her and Islam. She's on videos that you can find on YouTube and X saying Islam first before absolutely anything. Her religion comes first. So she's part of the problem. The Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, has branded the comments heard at the march as un-British and utterly disgraceful. Speaking to GB News, she said those messages are utterly disgraceful. They are fundamentally un-British in nature as far as I'm concerned. She called for Britons to step back from protesting for at least a few days just to give the Jewish community here a chance to process what has happened and to begin the grieving process. Well, that worked, didn't it? They're literally out within hours. Mahmood added, "I am very disappointed that some of the organisers haven't heeded the call to step back." She's the problem. That's the problem. Why would you have Muslims in... Oh. I stopped myself because I keep saying the same thing, but it's just irritating. Referring to this response on GB News, Mr. Farage's statement continued. In response to this, the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, says she's disappointed. Disappointed. That's the most that the Home Secretary can say. Well, I hope all of you watching this video are outraged. Outraged and frankly frightened. Yeah, disappointed because, like, she can't say too much because she's in Islam. She's in Islam. She supports anything that's Islam. She's clearly stated it. I told you, like, videos. This is broken Britain. This is evidence of societal breakdown. It is deeply worrying and very frightening. Exactly. Do you agree? Do you agree? Let me know in the chat, because, like, I want to know. And it is worrying. I mean, but I find a lot of it, we can't even say or do anything. No one's listening. How many Jews have done attacks on the UK Christians in the last 5 years? Exactly. Like October the 7th. Yep, and they cheer it. It's pathetic. I condone what happened, but the Jews are one of the most racist race of people, and not to mention baby killers. No, they're not. It's like Speedy's had an education that was like, I don't know, drugs and misinformation. He's a conspiracy theorist. Absolutely crazy. Hamas and the Palestinians went through Israel killing babies, etc. So, but to try and that's what Islamists and Muslims do. They actually try and accuse everyone of doing what they're doing. Taqiyya. And the Quran even says at times of war or anything like that, lie. It actually tells them to lie, and they want to make out it's a religious book. But Hamas use the children and the people as a shield. Yes, they do. Okay, yes, 100%. Israel, like I've said before, they do the phone calls and messages and leaflet drops. Get out the area, whatever. We're coming in. We need to bomb it because obviously Hamas people are hiding under the ground in the tunnels. So make sure you're well clear. And then Hamas are like, no, we're not going to let you leave. You've got to stay there. They literally stop their people, their own people, from leaving the area, knowing Israel has given them a warning to go. Hamas like, no, you stay here. We're going to hide behind you and we'll keep you there. And then when Israel drop a bomb and it kills, say, 10 innocent people, that's it. They can play the victim. They just killed 10 innocent people. Oh, they were waiting for aid. No, you wouldn't let them move. You kept them there. Even like 6 hours after Israel said it was going to attack, you would not let them move or leave. Islam is bad, I know, because I was a Muslim, but since 1 year I am Christian. Oh, good for you. Happy days. So you moved on. So you're yourself now, you'll be classed as an apostate and you should be killed. That's how bad Islam is. I mean, it's such a good religion. If you leave, they want to call for your death. I mean, I've never heard of that in Judaism or Christianity or Hinduism, Buddhism, nothing. They got a place called that. Islam is bad. Islamabad. But yeah, welcome to Christianity, my friend. Happy days. Good for you. It's nice to hear that as well, because quite a lot of people that were Muslim have been looking at Christianity and have moved to Christianity as well, because they're seeing it for what it is. Like, the internet is destroying Islam at the moment. Even in Iran, 40,000 mosques have closed because people have had enough of it. Speedy McMillan, you are brainwashed by anti-Jewish haters. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Palestine kids programs tell them to kill Jews. Look it up on their videos. Jewish people teach to love and respect everyone. That's right, Bad Box, 100%. Yes, the kids programs, you got Farfall the Mouse. And he's sort of dancing down the street going, let's go kill the Jews. And that's their cartoon, like the equivalent of Mickey Mouse. So it's absolutely crazy. But yeah, they are indoctrinated from school age upwards. I mean, you see like 6, 7-year-olds and they're being given AK-47s. You're like, what do they want that for? The religion of peace throws acid in babies' faces and kills children when they aren't grooming them, so they won't get my sympathy. Exactly that. Same here. Well said, Mark. Thumbs up. Oh, here we go. USS Liberty, JFK, Charlie Kirk, 9/11, and hundreds of assassinations. I'm not pro-Palestine and I don't take drugs, you mug. That's a mug. just so you know the difference between a person and a mug. So I don't know what you're getting at there like that. I'll just move on. There are still billions of the buggers. 2 billion Muslims. Yep. 2 billion people that do not understand that their prophet married a 6-year-old and consummated the marriage when she was 9. How can you be, say, a mother with kids and think, yeah, that's all right? That's normal. That sounds very holy. No, the Jewish people are actually really quite nice people. They don't go around with bombs or anything or knives. There's literally 0 Jewish attacks. So I think people like you, Speedy, are actually brainwashed into some weird delusion. And you're obviously a fan of Palestine and Islamic terrorism because you seem to want to attack the Jews, even though anything and everything that's just happened, you think, oh, I'll attack the Jews myself. So probably a Muslim, supports Islamic terrorism, Palestine action and all that. You're part of the problem with the rubbish that comes out of your mouth. Anyway, Farage said, will this Prime Minister do anything about it? No. I was literally going to say, no, he won't. I was literally going to say it myself. In fact, he's emboldened these people by his recognition of Palestine 2 weeks ago. Exactly. That's my point. As soon as he said, we recognise Palestine, you knew all these people wearing their silly little tea towels and their little kafirs or whatever they call them. Oh, look at us wearing all these. You knew they'd come running out. And never forget, this is a Prime Minister that took the knee just a few short years ago to an extremist group. Now, there is a big march planned in London this Saturday. Yeah, do you know what? That's going to be even bigger now because you've got all the idiots that'll be like, oh yeah, because of what happened in Manchester. Yeah, it's gonna be horrible. Whether the Home Secretary and the police decide they've got the powers to stop it, I don't know. No, because they won't. They say, oh no, we're not allowed because of the protesters. You're allowed to protest, even if you're protesting for the genocide of the Jews, which is like half the cause of what's been going on. They're literally out there saying, like, kill the Jews and wipe out Israel from the river to the sea. And they're going to let them carry on, knowing full well we just had an Islamic attack in Manchester on a synagogue. And they were like, yeah, but that's their right. No, they've lost the right. They're calling for the death of Jews and they're actually going out and killing Jews. Stop. What is for certain is we're a country that allows peaceful protests, but we're not the country that allows the celebration of murder or slogans in our streets that are deeply insightful. Yes, like River to the Sea. Exactly. And they are celebrating. That's the point. That's why they all went out last night, to celebrate. I mean, why else would you do that? Farage concluded, I must admit, saying this now to you today, I feel more worried about the state of broken Britain than I have ever before. Look at all these like certain faces that you can see here. They need to try and work out who they are and get them charged accordingly. Look, Free Palestine signs and all sorts. It's crazy. Starmer visited Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue where the 2 people died in a terror attack on Thursday. Yeah, well, what's that going to do, mate? You literally just called that out, like, yes, we as the UK recognise Palestine, and now you want to go to a synagogue and say, oh, poor Jews. Two-faced star. He held hands with his wife, Lady Victoria Starmer, as they met police officers at the scene of the attack. How is she married to him? She's still a runner. He's poison. In a recorded message to the Jewish people, a recorded message, he didn't want to say it like live, no. I know how much fear you'll be holding inside of you. I really do. Nobody should have to do that. Nobody. You know how much fear the Jews are holding inside of them. You really do. No, you don't. You haven't got a clue, Starmer. That's just stupid words, meaningless, empty words. And the fact that he said, like, I'm holding it inside of you, and then added, I really do, saying that is overemphasizing what he's saying, which means 9 out of 10 times that it's a lie. Did you know that? So there you go. I do like to, I mean, you know, some videos, I haven't done them in ages, but I used to do a better look at body language and what people say and what it really means. But I'm not a professional, hence why I don't do them all the time. I'm just self-taught. But there's videos out there with professionals that do it. You should learn from them. But yeah, Starmer's just talking rubbish. And so I promise you that I will do everything in my power to guarantee you the security that you deserve, starting with a more visible police presence protecting your community. But that's the whole point. I mean, he wants to guarantee more security and visible police presence. They shouldn't need that. They should not need that in any shape or form. That is ridiculous. The fact that he said that, oh, shocking. Just plugging my other laptop, the battery was dying. The Jewish community should not need security guarantees, and starting with more visible police presence protecting your community. They shouldn't need it. They should not need any type of protection in their community. They should be free to do whatever, however, because we all just live in harmony. But no, all because of Islam. I promise you that over the coming days, you will see the other Britain, the Britain of compassion, of decency, of love. I mean, that's just cheese. The man's talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. I mean, there's nothing that Starmer can really say that put him in any light other than like what he's already in, which is not a good light. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So in the month of Ramadan this year, there were 254 attacks and 2007 deaths in the name of Islam. All other religions combined, 0 attacks and 0 deaths. There you go. That sums it up in a nutshell. Starmer is a pathetic human being. Yes, he is. He just talks rubbish, and I think people can see through it. But yeah, all these protests or celebrations, should we say, are absolutely ridiculous. So don't know what to say on that. It's just shocking. I can't believe people actually like go out and celebrate things like that. I mean, how screwed up are these people? And that is just the attacks that were claimed by Islam. Yeah, exactly. Scottish Catholic, deport them all. Are you saying like Scottish Catholics like to deport them, or you're Scottish Catholic and deport all Muslims? Because if you hate Muslims and want to deport Muslims or whatever you said up here, where is it? No, I'm not hate Muslims. I hate Islam, but in that case you would stand with the Jews, surely. Where did you learn English, Baghdad? Yeah. Sadly, hatred of Jews is popular and trendy at the moment. Yeah, it is. It's disgraceful. I mean, blimey heck, I've never known it like this. I mean, what? I think the Jewish community quite. I think it's a really good community of like peaceful people. They just do what they do, and they're seriously intelligent people. I mean, there are a lot of achievements in the world, opposed to Islam that has a 0, I expect, other than obviously death and terrorism. The hatred of Jews, this is Mark, the hatred of the Jews seems to be linked to the hatred of capitalism. Anyone who is more successful, has more money, has to be hated. Yeah, that's it. But somehow it isn't directed to celebrities, just landlords and CEO. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? That is the thing. There we go, Speedy. I know there are some good Jews out there, but the Zionist hardliners need to taking out. So you're saying that Zionism is like because you believe that there should be a state like Israel. So if you support Jews, and actually saying like to take them out. I mean, that's twisted. They teach their population to hate the Palestinians from kindergarten. The world would be better without Jews. No, I think I can't see they actually taught to hate Palestinians because there's no such thing as a Palestinian or Palestine. It doesn't exist. So you're probably again talking out your backside, making it up as you go along there. But if Jews are told to like stay the F away from bloody Islam and Muslims, then that's probably for their own protection, which is probably a good thing considering what we just went through in the Quran and everything about trying to kill them. And the world would be better without Islam. Islam, that needs to go. We need Jews. They're very intelligent, smart people. Yes, anti-Western groups all joining to hate Jews and hate anyone pro-Western. Yep, that's basically it. Bird boxes on it. But, yeah. That is exactly right. If you wanted to globalise the Intifada, you just got your wish in Manchester. The orgy of terror unleashed at a synagogue on the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, Yom Kippur, should surely be a cause of celebration for some in Britain. Yeah, it was. How did he know? You've seen them, haven't you? Those keffiyeh-clad clones demanding we globalise the Intifada. What better way could there be to side with the Jew-hating hordes of Hamas than to stab Jews in Crumpsall? But suggest that to any of these people and you'll be met with incredulity. There's a word there. How could I possibly say that the logical inference of their sloganeering is that they should celebrate anti-Semitic violence? This is about the liberation of Palestine, not hating Jews. Oh, he swore there, look. We don't have the full picture yet of the attack on Manchester Synagogue that left 2 people dead and resulted in the assailant being shot by police. But when you repeatedly call on people to globalise a fight against the world's only Jewish state, when you focus disproportionately on everything that Israel does and fall into conspiracy theory thinking, like Speedy, worthy of the protocols of the elders of Zion, it's clear this isn't about land. It's about your weird obsession with Israel. Basically it, isn't it? And shy as you might be about your anti-Semitism, you should know that there are others in this country and abroad who are not. Unlike you, they don't call for a globalization of the Intifada online. They take it out of TikTok land and actually carry it out. What could be more globalized than an attack in Manchester, 2,300 miles away from Gaza? Those evil enough to wield cards and knives against Jews see you marching in London. They see that even after October the 7th and before Israel's response, you were coming out in droves to condemn the nation that was attacked. I hear you accuse Israel of every evil it's possible to imagine, no matter the lack of evidence. When Israel responds to a terror attack with war, it's genocide. Exactly. They try and claim, oh, it's genocide and starving people. No, they're not. But it was also engaging in genocide after it left Gaza in 2005 and the population boomed. There's a hint. It was part of a bigger plan, you see, a slow genocide to fool the world. But apparently not our best and brightest, who spend their time glued to TikTok and shutting out any dissenting opinion. These are the bastard children of America's 9/11 truthers. They point to evidence where they think it exists. And when they don't have it, claim that's all part of a conspiracy to keep it hidden. You simply cannot win against people who have fooled themselves into seeing circular reasoning as hard evidence. They're not playing the game you agreed to play. I told you, see, this article is a good one. If any of you are reading, and unlike Prospect, I'll admit, then what I can say is that it's perfectly obvious to plenty of us what your slurs against Israel mean, whatever your intention. I'm sick of you poisoning the city I now call home, and I'm disgusted that the logic of your demands has manifested in murder close to the town of my birth. You don't have any excuse to carry on being so stupid as to not understand what globalise the Intifada means. And if you really are so dense as to carry on with this on the streets of Britain while insisting you're not calling for murder, I'm going to explain how wider society should treat and view you. You're the modern day equivalent of a drunk uncle who's preoccupied with whinging about black people. The sort who gets really into it, throws in the odd bit of outright racism, then gets huffy and suggests it's political correctness gone mad when he's pulled up. Such people are racist, whether they know it or not. And if you chant from the river to the sea or endorse a globalisation of the Intifada, you're a racist too. And you can't expect to carry on behaving like this without hearing from those of us who are not. Either be honest about your hatred and wear a smile that Jews are once again living in fear in Britain, or stop endorsing their murder. Exactly that. And that's why they call out to everyone else like, oh, you're being racist, you're this and you're that and everything else. That's why they're doing it, because they know full well they are racist. They are the racist ones, but no, they want to call you out as being racist. That's exactly what they're doing. But that was a good article, so hence why I had to include that. So it was good. Here is a recent conflict in Gaza described in an overly simple way. The professional beats the tar out of him, and the guy that attacked first screams he's being beaten up and attacked. Let me know what you think in the chat. Do you hear what comes out of your mouth? Go to Israel and try to preach the gospel. See how that works out for you. Yeah, it'd be fine. You do understand that Israel, the population is, well, they've got 2 million Muslims there for a start. Do you know how many Jews live in Islamic states? Less than 1%, mate. Because, oh yeah, ethnic cleansing, genocide. That's what Islam does. So basically, you have to come out with a comment like that because I speak truth and you don't like it. So, little Speedy Macmillan doesn't like what I'm saying. Facts are facts. So if you don't like it, I don't know. What's that phrase? Like, put on a crash helmet, innit? Or build a bridge. Get over it. But yeah, Israel has no issue with Christians, Muslims, and the Jewish community. They're all out doing their thing because they like to make out there's like an apartheid and this and that, and there's not. So somebody is well and truly full on conspiracy theorist. Here we go. Speedy Macmillan. He's not put up one thing that actually makes sense or is actually true. So what does that tell you? There are videos of people of multiple religions in Israel and they are fine. What's your point? Exactly. See, the fact that, you know, even I've just said that, Mark said it. See, it seems some people do actually know the facts, and people like you are slowly being, you know, called out and like, you're full of rubbish. Speedy Macmillan from the Bird Box. The Palestinians teach kids to hate Jews. You have it backwards. You are brainwashed. All people welcome in Israel. Muslims have a mosque built on the top. The destroyed ancient Jewish temple. That's correct, yes. And then they stop the Jewish people and Christians going there. You know what Muslims like. But yeah, that's what I said. He's trying to make out he's Scottish Catholic, but I think he's well and truly like deep in it. I think he goes out and cheers for Palestine, etc. That's a load of rubbish. It's like Speedy's getting butthurt. Look, what do you do when you get called out for being a liar and a conspiracy theorist and proven to be one by the comments that he's writing? Look, you got to start writing all words like this because he's got no argument. Literally, did you see all the phrases, all the surahs that I read out about Islam and how, oh, crazy. Mark, please provide a link to any video or article with photo evidence to help convince me. There you go, Speedy, been called out. Blocked again. What, your comment? Shouldn't be. I've seen Speedy seems to be able to post up silly things. The Bird Box. Any proof of your insane claims, Speedy? So yeah, basically we need evidence. We need evidence. Speedy seems to know a lot. I wonder if he knows this weekend lotto numbers. Yeah, he'll probably just make that up as well. So I think he's a full-on conspiracy theorist, without a doubt. Without a doubt. He's like, oh, if I read it, it must be true. Or if I hear it, it must be true. So he's definitely out there cheering for Palestine and all that. You're invisible again? Why are you invisible? What's going on? Have you got it on live chat, not on top chat? Make sure you got that on for a start. Come on, Slim. Baconator. Welcome, Baconator. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate it. And your name is just brilliant, Baconator. Muslims are genociding Christians in the thousands, but no one talks about it. I know. It's got like Nigeria and places. I've done a video, I think, in the North Africa and everything, where they're going through like killing all Christians, but no one's talking about that because the Jews aren't involved. That's the problem. That is the problem. Look, that's the mentality of Speedy now. He's literally got no argument whatsoever. He's lost. He's done. He has no evidence. He's been asked to prove what he said and he can't. So now he's got all hurty. He got a bit butt hurty. It's the alien, Speedy. They're trying to block you. We can prevent that by wearing our sunglasses. That's that series, isn't it? They put the glasses. So yeah. So Speedy is oh, he's just admitted that he's a Muslim. It says I am Muslim. It doesn't. It says the opposite. But I'm just winding him up now. I'm not putting that up because you put the C word there. So that literally sums up your mentality. You're obviously someone who can't even like debate. How pathetic. So many words to avoid. Yeah, well, since Speedy doesn't have any issues with the C word and WANKERS and F off and all that. Yeah. Limited vocabulary, limited education. Definitely a conspiracy theorist. Obviously hasn't got a clue. Big up Baconator! Free bacon rolls! Free bacon rolls! Free bacon rolls! The Baconator! He wants to get that shirt that bloke wore with the bacon on his shoulders or something. Yes, Speedy. That's basically it. Saying F off when asked for evidence is not an argument. No, it's not. They Live, a great movie and a decent book. Yes, is that when they're homeless and they're looking over at like what they thought a church or something, and they go in there, and then they sort of go like that with their glasses, and the actual like adverts say like like shower gel, and when they put the specs on, it actually says like something about aliens or something. Is that the one? Is that what I'm thinking of? I don't know. I think you are. Yes, he's screwed. Will, thank you for commenting and welcome. Islam didn't exist when Judea was founded. My family lived in Judea 3,600 years. Aaron is my ancestor. There was never and never will be a Palestine. The name was from Philistine, meaning invader. Yes, it was, I believe, the Romans, wasn't it? Trying to sort of insult the Jews and sort of eradicate their sort of right and hereditary in history by saying, oh yeah, we'll call it Palestina or Philistine or whatever. I believe that's right. But so you're actually a ancestor of Aaron. I bet that was some serious ancestry going on there. How cool's that? I think mine might be Gandalf or something, but no, not really. But that's Kushti. But yes, Judea was there. Like people don't understand, even like with the Quran, the one you got now was written in the 1800s by a German. I mean, blimey, what more can you say? Because anything else, goat set it. The goat set it, mate. But yeah, you have to let me know if you've done an ancestry test or something there, Will, to find out. Cause going all the way back to Aaron, that's quite impressive. 3,600 years of history of your family. I've got like one generation's worth. Yeah, it's the one where they're homeless. They were wearing sunglasses and see the actual messaging. Yes, that's the one. Yes. Is that what it's called? They Live. Yeah, that's because the bloke was flowing air and all that. But yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes, because it's a big homeless thing where they're staying. Speed a minute, you're reading now as Abdul Paul Matul, isn't it? Slims in with the comedy. The Bear Box. Idiots are brainwashed by people like Candace Owens to think all Jews are evil. Yeah, Candace Owens is a serious problem. They don't look anything up, just swallow false news. Yes, that's basically it. I mean, blimey. Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, they're all at it. They're just talking absolute rubbish. I mean, Candace Owens still going on about Bridget McCon being a man or something. I mean, and then she, like Charlie Kirk saying like the Jews done that and saying like his wife could have been involved. Tucker Carlson, you don't watch that rubbish. That's probably why you're talking rubbish. There is an easy way. I just mentioned blaming Tucker Carlson as well. There is an easy way to prove you aren't a Muslim. Just say Muhammad was gay and liked penis. Penis. Well, Aisha did say that with regards to when he went to prayer, she had to scrape semen off his clothes before he went to prayer, and she could still see some. I mean, if he wasn't homosexual, why on earth has he got, that on his clothes? But Speedy's one of the chosen ones. And it is Islamo-leftist. Yes. Just talks rubbish. Absolute rubbish. But did you see that this? It's been up there for a while. I bet you've read the headline about 20 times already. But did you see this? So-called Dr. Shola blames Israel for the Manchester attack. I mean, oh my word. This is like the woman that was on TousiTV that Tousi showed. Maya Tousi showed it. And she goes through all saying this and that and everything else. You think, oh yeah. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, she blames Netanyahu. You're like, what? Even Tousi was like, I mean, that's when you just get up and walk out, leave the building, isn't it? It's just. But yeah, this is the problem. People like this, whoever she is, she should be deplatformed. It's absolutely crazy. That's who she is, apparently. Author and an activist, Dr. Shola Mos Shogbamimu has blamed Israel after a car ramming and stabbing attack killed 2 people at a synagogue in Manchester. 3 others were seriously injured and the gunman was shot, believed dead. So this come quite early, this report, obviously, as you can see by the way it was written. But I was straight on it. Dr. Shola Mos Shogbamimu said, I'm going to say Dr. Shola, horrified, not shocked about Manchester Synagogue. Israel's war crimes endangers all Jews. What? Not shocked Zionists are weaponising it against free Palestine protest and inciting hatred against Muslims, which is already astronomical. My condolences are with the victims. 2 are now deceased. Inciting hatred against Muslims, which is already astronomical. What is she on about? She's literally twisted the narrative from the Jews to make out Muslims are the victims. I mean, that is absolutely ludicrous. Now you can get in the comments and say something about that. That is absolutely crazy. Not shocked Zionists are weaponising it against free Palestine protests. Are you for real? Who is this Dr. Shah? I've never heard of her in my life. That's how much, she's making a difference on the planet. This is oh my word. But to say like inciting hatred against Jews, against Muslims, bearing in mind a Muslim has just done the car ramming, stabbing, and had what they thought at the time could have been a bomb on him. No, nothing about that. No, but what you're doing here is trying to incite hatred against Muslims. And apparently it's already astronomical, hatred against Muslims. No, it's hatred against Islam. The Quran and the Hadiths. That's the problem. You need to get rid of it all. Get rid of it. Like 100%. Get it gone. Wow. I'm absolutely lost for words. Absolutely lost for words. Daniel Arkush. What can we do to stop the Muslims from taking over the UK and the world? How put a stop to this radical ideology? Well, Daniel, the first thing they need to do, my friend, is admit that the problem is what I've just said, the Quran and the Hadiths, Islam. That is the problem. But we're going to get labelled as Islamophobes, probably get arrested. Do you know what I mean? But you're stating what it is. They want to address the cause, not... There's no point addressing each incident. You need to address the actual causation of this. And it does come back to the Quran and the Hadiths. I said earlier with those 12 verses from the Quran, they all incite terrorism. And obviously, as we know, it says, like, kill the Jews and then the Christians. I mean, blimey. But we're not allowed to say that. So, to stop the Muslims, they need to ban Islam. I personally think, like, all mosques should go. Sharia law, Sharia courts, that's got to go. There's no point. We opened in... The first Sharia court opened in the UK in 1982. That was the beginning of the downfall. As soon as you do that, you give them a centimetre, they take 658 billion miles. Do you know what I mean? They just go crazy. The only way to stop the radical ideology is to call it out for what it is and say this is all from Islam. And the more people that sort of talk and post with evidence, with the hatred from the Quran, the Hadiths and everything, maybe people will take notice. But for some reason, no. That's why they're trying to invent the word Islamophobia, to basically shut people up. There's no Christophobia or Judeophobia, even though it's the Jews that are being killed by the Islamists. They should say something like, to do with the UK, I would literally ban Islam, and in order to even be in this country, you need to be some sort of dominant denomination, like a Christian, Judaism, Buddhist, Hindu. You have to denounce Islam as a death cult, and that's it. It's no longer in the UK. That's the only way. And if they're not willing, and they say, no, I am a Muslim, I am Islam, then they go and live in a different country. They get deported. Anyone and everything to do with Islam in any shape or form. I used to go out knocking doors doing sales, and in London and other areas, to be fair, I used to knock door, they'd answer, I'd talk, you know, say my little bit of talk, and they just look straight through me. They haven't got a clue what I'm saying. They don't even know the language. They don't want to know. They're all dressed up to the nines, can't see them other than their eyes, and they don't want to learn the language. They do not want to assimilate. They do not want to embrace British culture. That is the problem. So they need to get rid of all mosques, ban Islam, and anyone who wants to live in this country has to denounce Islam and has to be any other, or agnostic, atheist, whatever. But literally ban Islam. Full stop. Daniel, oh, Mark's reply to you as well, sir. Start with not providing free housing, benefits, healthcare and random protection, as well as a hidden blasphemy laws. Then make halal illegal in the country they come to. Yeah, again, yeah, halal, like all that. And I mean, I don't get it. How come all the people that say about animal cruelty aren't... You do really, that's like slitting the animal's throat while it's upside down and let it bleeding out. I mean, could that be any more of an awful death? It's not very humane, yet people aren't saying anything about that, and they should do, because it's disgusting. It's not needed. This is the United Kingdom, where... Oh. See, now that, Speedy, I agree with. Yes. So here, Al-Bakari, 5134, Aisha clearly states he was 6 years old when he got married and 9 years old when he consummated the marriage. So yes, 100% actually agree with you there. Muhammad was not gay. He was entangled with a 6-year-old girl when married her at 9. No, he married her at 6 and consummated the marriage at 9. At his age of 50 plus, can't remember the age, it's about 57, believe it or not. and he was a PDF not gay. Well, apparently there's verses. I'll have to bring it up for next time, or have a look in a minute if you call me out and want to see the evidence. But Aisha actually narrates that she has to scrape semen from his clothes before he goes to prayer, and that when he goes to prayer, she can still see some semen on his clothes. So I don't know how you end up with that on your clothing if you're not gay. It seems a bit strange. So, if the truth makes incitement against Muslims, that seemed like a Muslim problem. If the truth makes incitement against Muslims, that seems like a Muslim problem. Yeah, it is. But they play the victim. They love to play the victim. What they do is they do October the 7th. Israel turn around, literally give them an absolute slapping. And they're like, oh, Israel, it's genocide. They're starving us. And you're like, no, it's not. Bakabazi is a neglected human rights issue that is causing anguish among the most vulnerable children in Afghanistan. The practice involves young boys, Bakabarish, Belis boys. Well, as soon as you say anything about an Islamic State, you know human rights are straight out the window. Crybullies always blame their victims. They are lower than slugs' bellies. Slugs' bellies, that's a good one. Crybully, that's exactly it. You're right. You are correct. Mark. Commonly aged 10 to 18 who are taken into possession of older male adults. The boys are usually brought to parties, weddings, ceremonies, and other private events, sometimes dressed in women's clothes. Oh my word. Really? That's called Bakabazi. Wow. And they're forced to dance and entertain a male audience. However, the practice varies across the country. Wow. Oh, Speedy's gone full on idiot. Why are Jews banned from getting a DNA test? Because you have no right to the land of Palestinians. Right. You need to go and learn your history because that is absolutely ridiculous. They have no right to the land of the Palestinians. I take it you've never read the Bible or the Quran because it clearly states in there that Judea and Samaria is land of the Jews and it was given to them by God. That's in the Bible and the Quran. And now you're saying Jews are banned from getting DNA tests because they've got no right to the land of the Palestinians. Palestine doesn't exist. Palestinians is basically doesn't exist because Palestine doesn't exist. There is absolutely no such thing as Palestinian DNA. If you do your DNA, it'd be like from Iran, Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon. It will not be Palestinian DNA because it doesn't exist. So you've gone from saying one comment where I actually agreed with it to being an absolute retard. I don't get this. And if it's anything about them not getting a DNA test, about giving blood or something, that's probably more to do with bloomin'. That's more to do with something maybe religious or whatever. But the Jews have a right to Judea and Samaria. It's their land. Palestine does not exist. So what you've written there, rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Mossad, IDF. That's a good one. Wake up British. There we go. That's it in a nutshell. That's what needs to happen right here, right now. Just wake up. The Bear Box. Tucker Carlson has been proven to repeat lies and have people on his show fabricate evidence. Yes. He is wrong on many things. Some things he is correct about, and the fools people to think it's all true. He fools people, yeah. He's been called out. I've seen a few sort of different shows on YouTube where they actually show clips of what Tucker Carlson says and then debunk it there and then with evidence. So yes, you are correct there, Bird Box. I can't think off the top of my head, so I'll try and think of one thing, but I can't. So I'll try to be quick, mate, but my bad. After the ceremonies, the boys are often taken to private houses where they are raped and sexually abused. Wow. See, that is awful. Do you know what I mean? Like, even mentioning that, you probably get shadow banned. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's true. So, The evil pigs of Quran said, let me look for the next one. All non-Muslims, dog's dirty and filthy. Yep, basically. Does that mean I agree? That's a Quran, that's Islam. Yep, that's basically it. The state of Israel is the main cause of anti-Semitism. Yeah, because Islam wants all Jews dead. Their day will not come until they have killed all the Jews and then the Christians. So their day's not coming. So they hate it. They hate the fact that Israel actually works as a country. Like I say, it's got like 2 million Muslims in it. And the actual other Muslims here, there and everywhere, and Islamists obviously especially, hate it. They hate the fact that Jews are successful and peaceful. They hate it. All because they called out Muhammad for being a fake prophet, which he is. Because you got to remember, in Islam, if you follow Allah, you're a slave to God. I can tell you this, God does not want slaves or slavery. There's a massive hint that Islam is just full of crap. You are a slave to Allah. Yes, I am his slave, they say. They even say it's Speaker's Corner. And you're like, well, you're an idiot. Because God's like, I don't want a slave. I don't want slavery. Don't want none of that. Oh, no, but I'm God's slave. Shut up. You're talking rubbish. That's Islam. It's just absolute crap. But yeah, we need Israel. We need a home for the Jews. Speedy, saying Jews are banned from DNA tests, literally insane to believe that. All Jews have direct ancestry back to the Kingdom of Israel from over 1000 BC. There you go then. Like I said, I think DNA test, I know some people, like religious reasons, won't give blood or whatever or however, but the bird box is basically just saying, like what I was saying, you're a melon. You're an absolute melon head. But you know, over 3,000 years of history for the Jewish. What we got for Palestine? What, 70 years at the most? And it's all fabricated and rubbish and lies? Mossad idea. Nice new name, Speedy. Is that Speedy, do you think? They've wiped out millions of Christians worldwide. They behave like animals. Yep. In the last 50 years, I think I've said before, but I'll bore you to death with my details because I know this and I like to sound smart. But there's been 66,000 Islamic terrorist attacks in the last 50 years. Well, more now. Of which over 250,000, that's over 250,000 innocent people have been killed. In the Israel-Palestine war, 5 times less, should we say? Around 5 times less. So Islam's a problem. Islamic terrorism is a problem, and it's had more deaths than an Israel-Palestine war. So, speaking of Millen, it must be cold and damp under the Kingston Bridge. Trolls always talk the same garbage. Yes, they do. Study Quran to understand Islam and Muslim. That book is evil and racist. Yeah, it's right there. Can you see it? Oh. There you go. El Quran. Actually, I'll put it back. I like it in the background because then people want to say something like, you haven't done this, that, and everything else. I'm like, it's right there, mate. I've got a Quran. Thank you. It's behind the New Testament, obviously. That red and white one there is the New Testament. That takes precedent. It goes first. Speedy, the Quran is the main source of anti-Jewish beliefs and hatred, not the only Jewish country in the world. 57 Muslim countries, 1 Jewish country. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And the problem is, like, you know, they're indoctrinated with that Quran literally from birth. That's the problem as well. Don't worry, Greta will sort it out. She would just say, how dare you? How dare you? And the world will be all right. Yes, it will. How very dare you? You stole my jokes and memes. How very dare you? They pay piss, read the Bible. No. I discovered this a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Speedy! There is no genocide. Gutted. Prove there's a genocide. The numbers are going up. There is no genocide. Absolutely crazy. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Oh, I can't find. I can't believe you make out it's a genocide. It's terrible. I'm on it today. There you go. I'll speed up. It's against the law for Jews to get DNA tests. Co-pilot says DNA tests are not illegal in Israel. Boom, there it is. Boom, there it is. Speedy lies, speedy lies, speedy lies. There we go. That's that sorted. I was just going to say it, and I thought, no, actually, I'll show it. So there you have it. The man is lying. He's full of it. So Speedy McMillan is full on 100% retarded. Say no more. Yeah, they've both gone mad. Yep. No, we're not. Muppet. Speedy's getting on my nerves now. He's talking rubbish. Speedy McMillan, do you get your info from Facebook memes? It looks like it. Yeah, I think he does. Literally just proved that it's illegal in Israel to get DNA tests. Oh, it is not illegal. So gutted. Listen to YouTube Christian Prince. Yeah, Christian Prince is good. Apostate Prophet. God Logic. Jay Smith is a great listen. Yeah, Jay Smith's good. He did do something that they called him out on it because he got it wrong. I can't think what it was though. But yeah, Jay Smith is good. I like him. The real genocide in Nigeria, they're killing Christians and non-Muslims. Yes, they are. But, you know, no one's interested in that because the Jews aren't involved, mate. If Jews aren't involved, they're not interested. So, yes. Yeah, Hatun Tash. Yeah, she's a gem, isn't she? She was live last night. I watched her for a bit before me dinner. But, yeah, she was live. She has a DCCI Ministries, I think, is what her YouTube channel is. So check her out and tell her the wizard sent you. So, Free Greta and the frog hat. Islam is a cult of terrorists. Yes, cult is short for culture, just so you know. But yes, it is. It's a death cult. It really is. There's no other words for it. Greta needs a good seat into Greta. Oh, big slim Greta. But Speedy needs to stay away from Speed and Tucker Carlson. Yes, he does. I'm beginning to think that Canada has a serious mental problem. I believe so. 100%. Definitely. It's a shame because her early stuff and that, I thought it was brilliant. You know, oh, if you don't like it, get a crash helmet. That's like when she was pregnant and that. And now she's just gone... Since coming, like saying Catholic or whatever, I don't know, with her husband and that. I don't know who's speeding her all this stuff, but it's absolutely rubbish. But anyway, back to Dr. Shola. Her post prompted furious responses. Yeah, I did see that. I think I actually commented on that on X. Someone replied, well, basically, did you see what, I did read it out, but maybe you forgot, saying, horrified, not shocked about Manchester Synagogue, Israel war crimes endanger all Jews, not shocked Zionists are weaponising it against free Palestine protests and inciting hatred against Muslims, which is already astronomical. Absolute rubbish. Appalling, you can't even let Jewish people have their grief for a few hours without making it about yourself. Another added, Israel has no bearing on this attack. It is murder pure and simple. It is very cynical to suggest a link to Palestine. Well, someone else said, no Jews should be under attack for the Israeli government's actions. That's not Israel's fault. That's a perpetrator who clearly has sick enough thoughts to carry out the attack. You're trying to spin this one and point blame elsewhere. Exactly. 2 people have died and a man has been shot by armed police after a car was driven into pedestrians and a person was stabbed in a suspected terror attack outside a synagogue on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar. Yep, Yom Kippur. Greatman's police said 3 others are in a serious condition following the attack. I think it's 4 now, or I've read 4. Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue on Middleton Road in Crumpsall on Thursday morning. But basically, yep, that goes on to say more about actual thing rather than but that's the sort of rubbish you got to put up with when you got people like Dr. Shola blaming Israel. I mean, is she backwards or what? Absolutely crazy. But you know, there's a day and age we live in. But excuse me, but I don't know what else you can really say about that, but she's an idiot. Absolute idiot. But Greta is like a flat earther, sailing to the ice wall to prove that Earth is flat. Shame Candice went a little mad. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that Greta. She thinks she's going to turn up and stop the whole war or something like, hello, I have appeared, I am Greta Thunberg. And then the whole of Israel and Palestine will be like, wee, she's here, everybody stop. It's absolutely ridiculous. Still. She was a lefty at one point. Catch you all later. It's been fun. Yep. Yeah, I've got this story to go for. I've been going an hour and 37 minutes. I've got verbal diarrhea today. But obviously, all to do with the incident with Manchester because it was blooming awful. But thing is, though, the problem is, even with me, like, you're just not surprised. What does that tell you when you're not actually surprised about a sudden... No jokes, Yi is the one feeding Candace every week. Oh, is he? She worships him. He goes into trance and has visions and she believes everything. Oh my. That's pathetic. That's pathetic. Hope you're well, business, today. I've got drinking my coffee. The amount of talking I'm doing, geese. Just says Patricia Routledge has died from keeping up appearances. 86 she was. Good for her. Good for her. Residents in Manchester have spoken out following a deadly attack at Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue, delivering a stark message to the Prime Minister. They felt very, very nervous and vulnerable, particularly given the city's Jewish schools and synagogues, describing the area as a big Jewish community. I don't understand why this has happened. We just want to live and let live. Read the Quran. A third resident who had experienced conflict zones recalls the chaos during the attack. When I heard the shots, I immediately knew what it was. See, that's the problem. See, that's basically telling you there's problems. When you hear something, you immediately know what it is. Another attack on the Jews. A couple of minutes later came the sirens and helicopters. Yeah, we heard that in yesterday's, didn't we? In the background, you could hear all the helicopters, and police wouldn't even let us leave our flat. Later, they evacuated us, and I walked down the road. I saw Rabbi Walker. It's a day of prayer, and he wears a long white robe. There was blood on the bottom of it. Prime Minister Keir Starmer said he would send more armed police to the synagogue, but I'm saying straight to him, we don't need more armed police. No, it's too bloomin' late. What we need are projects of dialogue where people can understand each other's face from different backgrounds and perspectives. Yeah, and all you need to know about Islam is it's just pure evil, and all it does is call for the death of Jews and bloomin' Christians. I mean, it's not religious text, is it? Look at what it's doing to the whole world. The world does not need Islam. This morning, a assailant carried out a stabbing during Yom Kippur, killing 2 and leaving several others seriously injured. Police nationwide are stepping up patrols at synagogues and Jewish sites, while the public is urged to remain vigilant and report anything suspicious. But like I said in my other live stream, Iran said to go out and attack Jews and Christians in the UK and Europe. Like, Iran literally called for it. The fact that this has taken place on Yom Kippur, the holy day of the Jewish calendar, makes it all the more horrific. Starmer stated, extending his thoughts to those afflicted. The mayor, Andy Burnham, moved quickly to reassure residents while advising them to avoid the area. Which we can all talk after the fact. What's the point though? Do you know what I mean? He praised both members of the public and security personnel at the location for their response, while promising to provide further factual updates as the situation developed. But yeah, absolute joke. 2 people died at this stage, 3 other members of the public in serious condition. We have also made 2 further arrests based on what we know. This gentleman, when he's interviewed, like his daughter was there. We never did hear anything from him, like that she was okay. Hopefully she was. Counter-terrorism police have declared this as a terrorist incident. Yes, because we know his name was Jihad al-Shami, a Muslim. It was an Islamic terrorist attack. So, Will, I subbed and thumbed up. Stay safe. Got to get ready for work. Okay, thank you very much, Will. Take it easy, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for your support. Living the dream. Hope you have a good day at work, if that's possible. Showed it is a racist and a grifter. Yep. There's something wrong with her. They have used about 60 tons of fuel to get to the Med. Very green. Yeah, the diesel as well. Whopping great massive diesel engines. She's like, save the planet. But not just yet, because I need to get to Israel and stop the war. Like, what are you going to do? Crazy. But we're saying all this UK and whatnot. Got a report which coming like not long after from yesterday actually, that might make you look, because in Germany, 3 alleged Hamas members arrested in Germany on suspicion of plotting attacks on Jewish sites. So it's happening in Germany as well. Didn't your armed police shoot a couple of victims for the terrorists? Not that I know of, no. Or not that I've heard. They wouldn't actually... is this with... what's it called? With yesterday's Manchester attack? Is that what you're talking about? Because I've not heard anything about that. So, does anyone know? Let's have a little Google. Oh, it doesn't say anything. It's coming up with links. Oh, it says one of the victims who died in Manchester synagogue attack was likely shot by armed officers aiming for the killer. So there's one there, yeah, there's one there. So, so yeah, there's one. So I'll take that back. 6.5mm Grendel. It looks like, yeah, one was, apparently. They did. Oh, Slim knows. Take care, oh, Slim. Take it easy. Live the dream. Take care. I've been going for a while here, haven't I? An hour and 44 minutes. Everyone give a thumbs up for Slim. But this is actually the last story I have. I left it last because obviously it's not in the UK, it's in Germany. But just goes to show, like, the whole Islamic ideology and Hamas. Again. I mean, they've actually got Hamas members in Germany, which is quite worrying. Like, well, I'm sure we got a few sleeper cells in this country as well. And it says 3 alleged members of the Palestinian military group Hamas have been arrested in Germany on suspicion of plotting attacks on Jewish institutions in the country, officials said on Wednesday. So they're literally like looking to like do even more damage to the Jewish community. It's absolutely disgraceful. The suspects are set to appear in court Thursday, and a judge will then determine whether the trio can be held in custody ahead of trial. Germany's federal prosecutor said they have been involved in procuring firearms since early this summer. Various weapons, including AK-47 rifle and ammunition, were found during the raid. 2 of the suspects are German citizens. The federal prosecutor's office described the third as being born in Lebanon. They were named only as Abed Al-G, Whale FM, and Ahmad I, in line with German privacy rules. Hamas has carried out hundreds of attacks against Israeli civilians over the years, but has rarely operated outside Israel and the Palestinian territories. Questions will likely be raised over whether the suspects were acting on orders from the Hamas leadership, or if they were merely sympathisers with Hamas or the Palestinian cause. Either way, it's worrying. Either way. Police in many European countries have been on heightened alert since the 7th of October 2023. Some forces have boosted security and patrols against possible attacks against Jewish or Israeli sites in recent months amid a spike of anti-Semitic violence on the continent and beyond. Yeah, well, as you can see, obviously not enough was done in the UK for a start. A report published in May by the Anti-Defamation League, ADL, J7 Task Force, said violent anti-Semitic incidents had risen across 7 countries with the largest Jewish communities outside of Israel. The report stated that attacks on Jewish schools, synagogues and businesses alongside individuals have increased significantly, in some cases more than doubling in 2023 compared to the previous year. The arrest took place as Hamas said it would study US President Donald Trump's 20-point peace proposal to end the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. But then, how many times have they been told, like, you can have this, this, and this, and this, and that every single time Palestine, like, no. Like, why not? Because there's still Israel. There's still Jews there. Don't want that. So, I can't see it going that well with this one either. They'd be like, what? So there's still going to be in Israel and Jews? Yeah, okay, we don't want that. We want to genocide the Jews. But obviously, we're very anti-genocide. They're trying to genocide the Palestinians, but we want to genocide the Jews, just so you know. That's pathetic. A Hamas-led attack on southern Israel nearly 2 years ago killed some 1,200 people and 251 others were abducted. Most of the hostages have been freed under previous ceasefire deals, but 48 are still held in Gaza, with around 20 believed by Israel to be alive. Israel's subsequent military campaign in Gaza has killed more than 66,000 Palestinians and wounded nearly 170,000 others, according to Gaza's health ministry. So take that with a pinch of salt, ladies and gents. The ministry does not differentiate between civilians and military in its toll, but has said women and children make up around half the dead. That's just, you know, that most of that's going to be propaganda, because that's what they want to get the message out, that, you know, they're killing them all. So that's the way it cookie crumbles. So they're saying all of that, and yeah, well, we'll see what happens with the old hostages, because I've got a feeling Hamas would have just probably wiped them all out. I heard they set off some sort of explosive, didn't hurt anyone, idiots. That they had. If we're talking about yesterday, the bloke had something around his belt, but it wasn't a viable thing. So, no chance 20 are still alive. Yeah, probably. You're probably right, mate. I mean, that's the way the cookie crumbles, doesn't it? It's the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah. Oh, the German Hamas cell. Oh, they actually set off some explosive, but didn't hurt anyone. Oh, right. Yeah, obviously I'm not too sure. I found that and I was like, we blooming Hamas like in Germany. That's worrying. So I chose that, but I don't know a great deal about it. So yeah, fair play. Um, yeah, that'd be a bit. They're probably actually making it. Boom. Like, oh yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, if Germany's got a cell like that, the chances are, I bet, other countries have. France, Spain, England, or the United Kingdom, I should say. Dangerous times, really is. Crazy, absolutely crazy. So, but anyway, right. What was I going to say? So tomorrow I might not be live. If I am, it'll be late afternoon, early evening, depending, because taking the wife out for her birthday. We're going out about 2:30, but I might not even be back till whenever. So, but I am live Sunday, 3 p.m. So we'll probably make sure we got all up to dates on the Manchester Synagogue attack, all other headlines, etc. I was going to have some other news headlines, but we're going for like 2 hours now, so I don't want to bore you all to death. So it just seems that it's all about the Manchester Synagogue, basically. not any news headlines. So there, that shut me up, didn't it? So I have to thank you all in the chat and who's watched, who's popped in for a little bit of the old information. Hopefully it's all up to date as what we know now. Like we've got his name and his age, and it was confirmed as an Islamic terrorist attack. So shocking, absolutely shocking. But please don't forget to like the video because that helps. Especially with me being shadow banned because of what everyone I talk about. Terrible, terrible. Poor me, poor Wiz. But yep, I'll see you later. 6.5mm. That's a cool name, by the way. Yeah, so if you can subscribe, if you want to subscribe, make sure you subscribe. That helps. Get the bell notification on. But you still don't get notifications on some occasions. I've had a few members say like they got notified about a live, but it had already finished. So I don't know what's going on. All part of the shadow banning, talking about Islam and God knows what, the facts. But still. But anyway, not a problem. Happy days. So if I don't see you tomorrow, it will be Sunday 3 p.m. And don't forget, Friday 7 p.m. you can come up on screen if you wish. And we can actually talk, debate, whatever you like on a Friday. And then Monday to Thursdays at 1 p.m.s. So get it out in your notebooks or get it on your mobile as a little reminder. Why not? Like I'm that important. But yes, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And I will see you Sunday at 3 p.m. So for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Wizard's words.